I up myself. I gas myself up. Stop looking for what's inside you and other people. You have it. Welcome back. Grab a snack because we're about to get into our goals and plan for 2021, baby. We're in a panini, a parmesan, a panoramic, paper mache, pancits, paperclip, poppy field, paramedic, pizza. We're in a pepperoni. You know what we in. Because we're in a panoramic right now, because we're in a panini press right now, and the pressure is literally on. It's been hard for a lot of people to plan. It's been hard for a lot of people to do more than simply wake up and get out of bed and do all of these things that maybe you had planned on doing at the beginning of 2020, but you know, 2020 said, bitch, Corvette, bitch, Corvette, hop in a motherfucking jet like that. And so now as we're looking through 2020 and going into 2021, it's time to plan. It's time to plan a little bit. I'm gonna teach you or show you how I plan in a panoramic, and this is actually just how I plan my years in general. A mentor of mine a couple of years ago, she sent me this really great and free, okay, can I get a free? She sent me this really great and free yearly planner, and it's called The Year Ahead. There's a little water spot on mine, don't mind that. You can get this and you can do your own planning. You just have to go to YearCompass.com, and when you go to YearCompass.com, you can either print it out in this way, you can print it out in a booklet format, and you can also get a digital version. So lots of opportunities to save the planet. This is amazing. I never used to set goals for my year. I mean, I think maybe I would kind of set slight resolutions or sort of like set things in my head, but I never really took the time to sit down and write it out and plan it out. And it's been a game changer. So the great thing about the year ahead is that you review the previous year and then you plan for the following year or the upcoming year. So I'm going to review 2020 and then I'm going to set goals and review for 2021. And there's all types of prompts in here that make it really, really, really helpful and beneficial. Now, I would say that this whole thing to complete, to review the following year and to set your goals for the next year can take anywhere from about 1 to 3 hours. So I would just make sure that you set time aside for yourself to really give yourself time to like get in here and get it and you work it the way you want to. Also, you could split it up into 2 sessions, so you can have one session that's just focused on reviewing your past year, and then you can have another session which is focused on planning for the next year if you don't feel like you can focus for all the amount of time to do both of them, because it can be a big task to review, especially the type of year that we just had. It can be a lot to review it, you know what I'm saying? It could be a little emotionally taxing. It could bring up a lot of feelings, and I think we need to create space and sit with those things. So when you open your booklet, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they kind of just say,
arrive, put on some relaxing music, pour yourself a hot beverage, let go of all your expectations, start when ready.
So this is such a great prompt that they give you in the beginning, because arrive, right? What does it mean to arrive? Like, just chew on that. I'm sorry, y'all. My neighbor's pulling in and he always be playing the smooth jazz. And I think he's pulling out right now. Okay, but anyways, what does it mean to arrive, to come to it? I think like when I hear the word arrive, it sounds very welcoming. It's like you are here, and it's an intentional practice of showing up for yourself. Put on some relaxing music. Whatever helps you to get in the zone, put that on. Create that environment for yourself when you do this. If you're somebody who needs the hot bevy and the nice like smooth lo-fi beats playing in the background, then do that. If you're somebody who needs you a nice little glass of wine and you need the TV on in the background, do that. But whatever you need so that you can feel focused, let go of all your expectations. I hella agree with that, because when you review your past year, you're going to be like, oh wow, what? So I would agree, let go of your expectations, because you don't know what's going to come up. You don't know what you're going to want to put down for what you want in 2021. So just let go and let your mind flow. And lastly, start when ready. So you do not have to complete this before the new year begins. You can start this when you're ready. You can start this in February. You can start this in March. I know for me, sometimes I feel like the new year starts on my birthday as opposed to the actual January 1st. I feel like that is okay. Start when you're ready. You don't have to finish it before the year begins. And I know sometimes we can feel a lot of pressure, like I got to do this, I got to do this. You don't have to. So give yourself time, arrive and start when you're ready. Like, it asks you to go through your calendar from the last year, and week by week, if you see important events, family gatherings, friendly get-together, or significant projects, write it down there. Like, what did you do? And even if you did watch all of Moesha and Girlfriends and Living Single, put that down, because that could be significant. It really could be. And y'all think I'm playing, but it could be, because who knows how those things might influence your sort of creative projects in the future. Write about the panoramic, you know, put some significant events to that end, just so you can sort of like have in one space what your year was looking like. Ask questions like, what aspects were the most important to you in the following areas? In personal life and family, work, studies, profession, your belongings, home and objects, relaxation, hobbies, creativity, friends, community, health, fitness, and it goes on and on. So this is just a really good way to synthesize what the past year has been. And I think because this year has been very intense for all of us, some thorough review was really necessary, because although it was very difficult, I learned a lot and I have come to a lot of conclusions, and I think it's just interesting to see how I've grown and the person I've become in the last year. In the back of this also, it asks you, what 3 words would you use to define your past year? There was a book made about your past year. Write down the title. So if I had to think of a title for this past year, it would probably be like, I'm panini pressed. It would be I'm panini pressed, because I'm panini pressed. And then there's also a space in here to write like for forgiveness. Did anything happen during the past year that still needs to be forgiven? Deeds or words that made you feel bad, or are you angry with yourself? Write it down here. Do good for yourself and forgive. Now, forgive in your own time, but I think this is a good space to just write down the things that were left unsaid for the year, and maybe you can revisit it. And then you have the year ahead, 2021, which I know can be really daunting. Like, how am I supposed to plan in the midst of a panini? I don't know, but we gonna try. I think this is also a really good way to just help manifest. I think the first step to manifesting is goal setting, is getting to the nitty-gritty of what it is that you want. So here it says, dare to dream big. What does the year ahead look like? What will happen in an ideal case? Why will it be great, right? Draw, let go of your expectations and dare to dream. This is when you can go crazy with the imagination about what you see with yourself, about what could be panini, no panini, whatever it is. Write it, draw it in this space, and just, you could literally just put colors and have each color represent how you're feeling. This is a very expressive sort of way to map out your goals, and it doesn't have to look one way. You know what I'm saying? I have my 2019-2021 here, and I also have my 2018-2019 here. They're really cool to just look back on and just review what you were thinking, where your head was, how you've grown. It's really kind of crazy to see like the things that I was thinking about. When I reviewed 2019, here's some things that I did in 2019. I started working at a museum, so also it helps put things in perspective in terms of time. I budgeted for the first time. I took a trip to Joshua Tree. I did a lot of different things, and it's interesting to see the things that I put in here that I did and how they've manifested in other ways in my life. So that's pretty darn cool. Do a 6-month review. So I do like a half-year review, and then I do my final like end-of-year review. So when I fill out this one, I'm going to follow up again and look at it in the summertime when it's been about 6 months, and I go through it and I see what I wrote and what I dreamed big about, and I kind of just mark off and see like accomplish that. In the process of accomplishing that, oh, that actually isn't possible, or my mind has changed about that, because oftentimes we'll set goals for ourselves, and then when we review them once we're in the year, we realize that we're not even really interested in that anymore, or it looks totally different, or it's not for us, because that happens a lot too. I'm not someone who is good at goal setting for months. The once a year thing works really great for me, because it's one of those things where I can simply do it and kind of not think about it again. And I feel like subconsciously, because I wrote it down and I was thinking about it, I know what I'm working towards and I know what I want. And you don't have to check it once every 6 months. You can check this as frequently as you want to see if you're on track. And I think it's just a good way to measure like your long-term and bigger goals. And then also in terms of long-term and bigger goals, like if I'm looking at my 2019-2020, some goals might take longer than a year to accomplish if I'm trying to save up for something, or if I'm trying to do a project that's really big. And so the fact that I have these older things to look at and review, I can be like, okay, this is where I'm at in this process, but I can continue to put it on there until it's like finally done. What's important in the beginning stages of setting those goals is to dream big. Like go hard, dream as big as you possibly can, because you never know what is possible and what can be accomplished. And again, everything might not come into fruition, but you're creating the space for it. Giving yourself permission to dream and write it down is half the battle, because you're telling yourself that I could have this thing. For me, what's also really helpful is journaling. This is my summer journal from 2018, and sometimes I give my journals themes depending on the season that I get them in. So I got this journal in summertime, so you can see I wrote the summer series 2018. But journaling has been really essential to my life and my well-being and my goal settings and my just existingness, okay? Because I'm able to get out all of my feelings, my frustrations, my anger, my happiness, my worries, all in my journal. Like my journals are my babies. I go through journals very quickly. And I save them all. And so in the same way that I was talking about reviewing my journals, like these are like nuggets of information, because we drop so much information when we're reflecting on our lives. And then to read that 2-3 years from now, you'll be like, yo, my head was here. You'll be mind blown at how far ahead you were. Sometimes it ain't gonna make sense. It's not. It's very entertaining. This is some new moon manifestations that I wrote, and I wrote this on April 17th, 2018. New moon manifestations. I create the space and time for myself to be thoughtful about my next steps. I create the time and space to volunteer in my existing community. Oh, that's a nugget right there, because that's something that I want to get back into and just make more a part of my life. I work on projects that are aligned with my mission and serve my highest good. I would say that that's definitely coming to fruition. I am an active participant in my life. I think that's, yeah. I trust myself and my body. This is from July 22nd, 2018. Don't be shy about what you need. Speak it, ask for it, seek it. Be honest about your needs to yourself. Selfish. In the best way possible. We expect okay. Selfish. In the best way possible. We expect compliments and attention. It's not always about you being me. Be yourself and be confident enough in who you are that you seek approval from no one. This is 2018 Taylor telling 2020 right now Taylor exactly what she needs to hear. My mind is blown. I up myself. I gas myself up. Stop looking for what's inside you and other people. You have it. Respect your needs, but go to community to share. Oh my God, y'all. It's also interesting too, because you have journal entries from when you were in relationships that you probably shouldn't have been in. Girl, what? August 1st, 2018. Welcome, niggas, to the first of the month. I am whole, I am content. I am open to surprise gifts, experiences, connections, and monetary gifts.
We going. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside.
Y'all need a journal. Y'all need to read. Okay, what I want y'all to do, read your journals back, and in the comments, just tell me what some things you've come across. Also, let me know how you plan. 2020 is on the way. Also, something that I do for the year is I pick a word to sort of like stick with me throughout the year. So last year, or for 2020, my word was apprenticeship. I also like to pick songs. Shout out to Janet Jackson, because the two songs that are kind of guiding me and are kind of thematically my thing for 2021 is Janet Jackson's All Right and Janet Jackson's Control. Okay? Because I'm grown. And I feel like control is about being grown and showing people that you're grown. So we're gonna have an amazing year in whatever way that looks. We're going to trust ourselves. We're going to trust the process. We're gonna dream big. We're gonna write it down. We can absolutely do this. I believe in you. I love you. Read back on the things that you did. You'll be surprised, and it makes you feel good and it hypes you up for the year. Just because we're in a panorama don't mean that we can't be some bad mama jammas. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm really trying to be on my YouTube grind or whatever. Shout out to everybody. Who am I talking to? Who is watching? You know what? Dream big, Taylor. Shout out to all of my thousands of subscribers. I love y'all so much. Y'all keep me going. Period. But happy 2020. Happy New Year to y'all. Trust yourself. Trust your journey. It's yours. And you got this.